What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be doing a very much requested video and a video that's pretty popular, especially for the end of the year. I'm going to be doing my 10 most worn fragrances for this year. It's not what you expect and it's not what's out there. So I'll start off with my number 10. My number 10 is going to be Dior Homme Cologne. Let's see if that focuses. Oh, I'm not going to focus, but Dior Homme Cologne. Haven't worn it as much as I want to, just because I got it towards the time I was getting a little colder, so I wasn't able to wear this one too much. Compared to the other ones, I still wore it a lot, especially around the house. But it's a really good number 10 in my opinion. Next one doesn't really get much love. It's a scent I've pretty much fallen in love with ever since I first smelled it. That was before I was into perfume, so I didn't even know this was a clone. So this is Alhermine's Gold Edition. It's a clone of Xerjoff's Herba Pura. Really good, fell in love with it ever since I smelled it. Didn't even know that it was a clone. Yeah, I found out later on. Pretty cool. My third one, well, my seventh one is gonna be another clone. It's gonna be a clone of Creed's Royal Oud. It's gonna be Your Highness Green 3. Supposed to be a clone. I've heard it's also a twist, or probably more likely a twist. So this is number 7. Pretty good dent on it. I don't know if you can hear it, but it has a pretty decent size. So for this year, this is actually gonna be one of the first ones. Well, actually, I believe this is actually going to be my first clone, or one of my first clones of the year. So this is going to be Tom Ford's clone of Oud Wood, which is Maison Alhambra's Woody Oud. I smelled Oud Wood at Sephora. Same thing with my next fragrance, and pretty much just knew I needed to get a clone because I wasn't going to spend money on the real thing. So my number 5. That was my number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that was my number 6. My number 5 is going to be another Tom Ford clone, which is going to be Tobacco Touch by Maison Alhambra. It's a Tobacco Vanille clone. This one's a really good one. I don't think I'll ever get the real deal just because I really do love the clone so much. And it does last pretty much all day. If you spray it on clothes, it's going to last for weeks. So I don't see myself spending the money on a Tom Ford one. Next one up is going to be one I found recently, or I got recently, and it's a really good one that I pretty much had to stop myself from wearing all the time, which I believe actually surpasses the amount of wears I've had for the rest of them. On my last few, it's going to be Pasha the Cartier Parfum, or EDP. No, Parfum. So I've had to stop myself from wearing this one. I believe I said it in a different video. It was not a love at first sight. When I first smelled it, I was a little worried. After the fact, after wearing it, giving it just one wearing, fell in love with it. I could actually still smell this fragrance. I don't remember the last time I wore it. Maybe a few days ago. I could smell it on the seatbelt of my car, which is not annoying. It's kind of interesting just because it kind of blends with whatever else I'm wearing that day. But definitely a must try if you haven't picked it up before. My next one, I actually picked up the real deal recently. I did have the clone for it, and I'll make a video on that later on. But I wore the clone so much that I got the real deal and sold the clone. This is the only one I actually keep in box. It's going to be Kilian's Intoxicated. So the only one I keep in box. I got it for a really good price. But yeah, sold the clone. I'm on those Facebook Marketplace groups, and I'm pretty sure, well, like some of you guys are following me from the Facebook Marketplace, which you guys found my account. after the fact, which is pretty funny. Just because the recent transactions I've done were around the time that I started making videos. You guys just happen to see the videos. So for the ones sticking around, thank you for your support. But Killian's Intoxicated, really good. The clone was very close. I'll make a video on it, probably could be one of my next few videos. Alright, but top threes are gonna be interesting. So at the number 3 spot, it's going to be Jean Lo Immortal, which is a Louis Vuitton L'Immensité clone. You can see the dent on this one. Pretty good dent on it, if it focuses. There we go. So this one I could not stop wearing when I first got it. Probably wore this one to work for maybe good 2 to 3 weeks straight. Just couldn't stop wearing it. I got YCL after the fact, even though I think it's really close, or pretty much the same scent in a different bottle. I got YCL when it was closer to the fall time, so I didn't really wear it too much compared to this one, how much I wore it in the summer. The next one is going to be one I wear a lot. It's not popular, and it's also my girlfriend's favorite fragrance out of all the fragrances I have. It is going to be Valentino's Rockstud Noir. So this is actually a recent release. I have worn it way more just because I tended to almost daily wear it, especially like out of the shower, just around the house, just because she loves the scent so much that I just wore it so much. Probably has a pretty good dent on it. I think it's around right here for only being around, or only owning it for maybe, I would say October maybe. Whatever the date of release was, I probably got it like a week after. Didn't even know it was coming out. Didn't even care about Valentino. She just wanted to smell the Valentino one that the lady offered. She offered this one a smell. We smelled it. She fell in love with it. I told the story in a different video. But my number 1 fragrance that I've worn so far this year is another clone, and it's going to be a clone of Ombre Nomad, or Louis Vuitton's Ombre Nomad. It is Jean Lo's Ombre. You can see the dent on this one. Let's see. So this one essentially, this was actually my first clone that I got. And come on, focus. There we go. You can probably see the dent on there. And this one I don't heavily spray. I only heavily sprayed it the first time I got it. And I almost took out a whole room of people. It was like almost gassed them out. Peeled the paint off the walls. From the building next door. But that was pretty much my first clone. I was never really an oversprayer. Never wanted to be. I believe I went with 6 sprays or something like that on this one for the first wearing. And I pretty much, you could smell me. Let's just say you could smell me. I used to have to take the bus or the employee shuttle at work. I was definitely noticed. I definitely got looks. So definitely minimize the sprays to about 1 or 2. But still, you guys can see the dent on the model, which just shows how much I've worn it. I'm afraid to let it run out, so I've kind of held back on wearing it so much. And just given the chance to other colognes that I have in the collection to wear them more often. But that's all I have. Those are my 10. Probably the weirdest 10 that you've seen on YouTube, but that's all I got. Have a good one, guys. Happy New Year's.